Hello everybody, this is Simon with Let's Play Mega Man Zero. Only 2 missions remaining, one of them for the boss of the Guardians, so we're going to take out the last henchman. And of course you will do so. This mission isn't particularly one of my favorites, mostly because it's retreading a lot of old ground. They do try to mix it up a little by changing the enemies around in the first and the last part of it, but yeah, this is exactly the same, you know. I do realize that this is mostly because they decided to have every mission start at the resistance base for consistency's sake, but generally I do think that the entire overworld thing here is more or less a failed experiment, because it is too restrictive for stuff like this here. I do like revisiting old territory that has changed over time, and this is still cool as hell. But yeah, it hasn't changed enough, and it's just kind of boring at the start. That they added a few bombs doesn't change things around at all, because, well, it's not that hard to get around them. On the other hand, their explosion radius is still pretty nasty. So, now the ice part, and whoops. Guess that has melted, because we took out the ice boss. Don't know, there is no real explanation, and it looks kind of grimy anyway, so thankfully we are a robot, and shouldn't care. The big problem here is first spikes, though it is pretty easy to avoid them because, well, we have a giant jump height and it is a Mega Man game which controls perfectly. But on the other hand, there are a lot of enemies coming from off-screen, like those fish. The squid aren't that big of a problem, but it is nowhere near as egregious as a problem as in the first mission, where we had those spike balls coming from off-screen, because the fish are one-hit kills. And not that fast. Here you have to wait lest you get crushed by the giant submarine on top. If you are quick enough you can do it in one go though, so I really don't fault the game for making me wait, because really I don't have to. Did here because the Cyber Elves spawned in a bad position though. Getting up on the submarines themselves is kind of a crapshoot, because the missiles are kind of random, and hey, is that a Repliforce logo I spot? And a little callback to Mega Man X4. So those are like old subs. Well, I'm waiting here because I have to get up there for a Cyber Elf. Don't worry, I won't do it on video right now, because this jump is an ass and a half. You might remember that I said about a certain other jump that it was the worst in the game. I lied, this here is the worst one by far, just because I have to wait so long for every attempt. But yeah, you're gonna have to see later on. I just forgot this one, maybe consciously, because it is really asinine. And especially hard on a handheld where you don't have the luxury of save states like I do here. So yeah, why does CL have hacker problems anyway if she can just remote control every single door that should be reinforced by now anyway? I mean, they closed off the very front door because they thought the second time around it would surely hold out any intruders? Or do they just do not give a fuck because their computer room is very hidden after all? Anyway, this base here now doesn't have the stupid security system anymore. It does, however, have a few upgraded enemies. And even though we clearly know where the computer room is at least I know, it's to the right, there is a very good reason to explore, and that is a shit ton of Cyber Elves hidden in the old cells. I will visit each and every one of them, except for a single one, where I'm going to overlook the Cyber Elf criminally. But I will still get it on camera for you, because I love you. First getting the Triple Rod out for a little variety, because the rest of the mission isn't really varied at all, because, as I said, we're just retreading old ground, and sometimes the Triple Rod is just shit. Too bad, really. Those tanks also, I really do not like them, because it's very unpredictable where they're going to fire, and I also do not like their firing rate. And assault would be better anyway, but I want to use the triple rod a few times, just to give it a little more exposure. It is pretty clunky, though I do say it is pretty fun to use too at some points, especially when you can pogo the enemies. So yeah, I missed going up the ladder to the right, which is going to bite me in the ass when I realize that I'm missing an elf. But more on that later on. As I said, you're not going to miss it anyway. Just trying to fill that air, really. Never thought I'd admit that. I'd have to admit that one. But yeah, and also forgot to get those cyber elves here. How unprofessional of me. Those guys suck ass with the triple rod, just because they take far too long to kill. And they really shouldn't be invincible when doing that, at least from above. The ice chip also doesn't really help. Especially because of the thing we're going to see right about... No, later on. Sorry. And yeah, of course, this is the hidden computer room, which we can now access for some reason, because Ciel got better at hacking again. Why the hell does she need our help? Maybe she just got a lot of practice by fending off the attacks? Maybe? I don't know. Good job anyway. Glad that you're making yourself useful. Yes, indeed I did. Now please shut up. Yeah, thanks. I mean, what else am I going to do? The door is closed until I destroy those things. I really do not think I need a tutorial for that one. Yeah, this mission is Cyber Elf Central, if you haven't figured that one out by now. There is one more mission that will give even more Cyber Elves. I'm not looking forward to that one. Yeah, this is how you get the energy crystals inside. Because Ciel interrupts you so long that they will vanish. Do not do this for the extra lives if you're hurting. Thanks a lot. Now the door is open. I always forget this one. Respawns and... oh, fucking hell, this is a trap and... this is not what's supposed to happen when you pogo an enemy. For some reason the ice chip does fuck with him a little. So... seamless transition. The one cyber elf we missed. And a little extra something because I didn't want to keep that one off screen too. Wait for it. First the elf. Yeah, I do not like the tanks at all. And the jumping slash, rolling slash is just not that cool in my opinion sometimes. Yeah. For the next mission we can charge our saber, which is pretty tremendously useful, though I tend to not use it too much. I will show it off, of course. So, back here with the normal loadout for the inevitable boss. Thank you, Ciel. I mean, seriously, the boss is going to interrupt me right now anyway, so... kind of spoils the surprise, doesn't it? DC keeps me from plunging into the spikes, so maybe that was intentional. So, say hello to Leviathan. She's the only female guardian, and yet the one most closely resembling... oh wait, almost a spoiler. Just look for her color anyway. She's also the most combat crazy for some reason. Her fight is very heavily patternized. She has 3 attacks which she will always do in succession, no matter what. First of all this bears, then this one here, where she loads up this ice crystal, and then, well, what she does now. The hailstorm or whatever you wanna call it. Whatever I'm going to call it later on when I post this video. And leather rinse repeat. I still am particularly bad at fighting her, mostly because the fight is so formulaic. I always found that the easier the fight supposedly is, the more trouble I have with it, just because I never can get my head around just following the same pattern over and over again. I am far better with reflexes. Yeah. There is a pretty easy way to cheese her, because she can never reach you at the right side of the screen. I hinted at it here. I think I'm going to do it later on, after I'm embarrassing myself a little more. Yeah, like so. She can never reach you here, which is pretty handy, I guess, but it's not that useful or that much of a cheese anyway. So, yeah, and that was kind of close, but as I said, I'm really not good at her, which is why it took ages to get a good hard mode video until I finally said, screw it, I got an S rank, no matter how bad the boss fight looks, I will never get it better. Sorry anyway for the delay. Yeah, Sarah's kind of pumped. What was the word again? Never mind. Yeah. So, as I said, the mission is not one of my favorites, but it's kind of over quickly if you know what you're doing and don't explore the entire base. Most of those elves are pretty damn useless anyway. Substitute energy, substitute energy, substitute energy. Yeah, I get it. Thank you very much, Sia. And that one jump, you know? It's an ass of a jump. So I'm going to show it to you. The entire attempt to get this one here in full length. That's the rest of the video. With save states, of course, because, well, waiting like 10 seconds for the sub to get up and down all the time is beyond tedious. It's really hard to get up here. And just going to spoil it right now, the rest of the video is just attempts. So you can just skip to the end. I won't hold it against you. This is just a demonstration of how asinine this is. And also of how incredibly boring just exploring the overworld can be, because the entire time the same music plays no matter where you are, which is hilariously unfitting for this, in my opinion. So yeah, skip to the end. Yes! Really hope you didn't watch all of that so far, did you? Thank you very much for your attention anyway.